Yes, we do. Love and understanding. Tuesday, attitude of gratitude. What you grateful for? July 23rd, 2013. First giving honor to the creator of this universe and all that inhabits it, and to my mother, Shirley Hardy, the elder in my life. I greet you all in love and kindness today. You are tuned into Health Talk Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Healthcare Talk with Dr. K and friends on the airwaves of Inner Light Radio, the healing frequency. Our focus is with the 3 C's in life: choices, chances, and changes. You must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. You are listening to a live broadcast. You can email your questions or comments to innerlightradio@yahoo.com. innerlightradio@yahoo.com, Facebook, Brother Jamal, or chatting through your Skype ID. You can call in with your positive conversations to share, 310-928-7733. That's 310-928-7733. We do ask that you mute your phone, and I will announce you to join the conversation through your phone number or your Skype name. I am Dr. Karen Davis-Foulks. They call me Dr. K, and I do thank you for tuning in, as always, to this show. On this show, we honor all who have and all that will emancipate from medical mental slavery. My message is health is all about consciousness, and healing is a function of consciousness. So on this show, family, community, and friends, we invite you to relearn, rethink, and rewrite your very own personal healthcare plan. So we say, what prescriptions will you create for your healing journey from this show? We are sharing the natural laws and principles for life and health. So are you ready? Are you ready to come get on board our friendship train to healthcare? We are taking a Harriet Tubman's ride, and you know there is no greater ride. For on this train ride, it is all about self-healing and self-help. That's health education for longevity and peace. You don't need a ticket. We invite you to come on board. So we welcome you to the Wellness Checkpoint. Now it's time to check the pulse of your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs. My regular friends joining me in the chat room, as always, I'm grateful and thankful for them. Wanda, Whitaker, anchored in spirit. She's in Pacifica, California. Rachel Pope with Let's Talk Wisdom, Blessings Flow Empire. She's in Waldorf, Maryland. And once again, I'm Dr. K, broadcasting live from Washington, D.C. On this show, we are here to be a reminder to each other as well as to you, our listening audience, that all that you are is a result of all that you have thought. Who is in the driver's seat of your temple? Are you ready to think a new way? So let's sit back, become the master of your health and your life. So let's take that deep cleansing, invigorating, relaxing breath, and listen here as we take this universal love ride about cellular ecology, the new paradigm, informational healthcare, because family and community is about the quantum effect. Conscious self-health care moves. Mental observation view is essential for yourself. What are you seeing? What are you looking at? You become your own self-absorber. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Health Talk Healthwise. Always pleased to have you come on board this friendship train with us every Tuesday as we share some common sense information to help you view things differently about your health. Today we're going to be talking about That title that they call obesity, and the fact that they've just made it a disease. And I know many people think that it is. So this is the information that Rachel put out on Facebook today to share with the community about what her talk was going to be. And I tagged on along with it and shared it through other social medias. Rachel wrote, she put out a video about Bruce Lee, and everybody know who Bruce Lee is. And that's a wonderful video that he talks about water. So Rachel's story today is going to be on the earth element called water for health. And it was interesting because that's all about the obesity myth as well. And so I tagged along and I said, water is a key element for the physical body. Cell life depends on the amount and quality of water that is available for the cells and cellular environments. I will share tonight what obesity is to me and why it is now labeled a disease. Now, you see, most people thought that it was already a disease, but it never really was. They were setting you all up, and now they've just named it a disease. When you deprive your human self of water, you create an environment for your cells to malfunction and not work in harmony. This is called a self-organized breakdown in cellular communication. And yeah, family, community, and friends, you are the creator of it, just like I am. The human body needs water, and the soul body knows this, and it tells us each and every day that we need water. Cellular malfunctions happen because of first, you have that thought in mind, and it is played out just like the thought. Replace that thought with a new thought and keep it focused on that new thought only, and you will create the new of what you want. The human body malfunctions because of two things primarily. Toxicity and deficiencies cause all cellular malfunctions to begin, as well as scrambled information, blocked information, misdirected information of the human body fields. And that's the quantum effect. That's a field of healthcare that I work with. This is truly what every disease and disease is. Toxicity, deficiency, a thought of that disease because it's blocked, misdirected information. So I say to you, as I always say, I am a creator, you are a creator. I am a sovereign being, and so are you. I am that I am, and so are you. And we are all universal beings. So I say honor yourself on this journey, love yourself on this journey, and let's understand what true health care is for the physical body. Once again, thank you for tuning into Health Talk Health Wise. I'm going to share with my friends in the chat room. We'll take a station break, and then we'll come back and talk about a little bit more about obesity and hear Rachel's story, the water. So how are you doing today, Rachel?
I'm here now. I am doing great because I'm just in that flowing state of mind because of all the experience that I have received this week since I last talked to you was all about water. It was amazing how I was observing this thing. You know, the heat. We had to make sure Tina was out of the house to something comfortable and give her plenty water. And then, you know, I saw some other issues pertaining to the water break in Prince George's County and people needing water and what they were doing trying to survive to have water in the tub, going back in the old ways, you know. And then I was like, wow. And then I come home and I see this Bruce Lee video when I was doing a videotape for my advertisement, and you know, and I was just flowing, and while I was flowing, positive things was happening to me here in Waldorf of networking about Kids for Kids project. You know, that's the thing we work together on, teaching them how to eat right and how the organs work within the body and so much more.
Yes, that visualization effect that you bring to it, the art that you bring to it, make kids awesomely wonderful looking at their human body a different way. So I enjoy doing those workshops with you. And
Well,
you
we
know
got
how it is when you're thinking about something good, the universe will bring everything your way that you need to make it work. So when you talked
yeah,
about that video of Bruce Lee, I've always loved that video because I love his opening words that he say to people. And that's what universal principle is. It's formless and you get to form it
yes,
any way you want. And so that's powerful. So water is definitely a key factor in everything in life. And I think we saw that.
everything.
So I think people in PG County had to go back and try to figure out how to survive.
Yes, they
Some
did. Cause
natural survival
right,
techniques.
right, because they were calling me. I'm out here in Waldorf, and I'm like, "What you want me to do?" I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm out here at the library
they
networking."
want they want you to have that dowsing stick in. No, let me
You know
stop.
what I say? Yeah. Here we go. Let's go in the woods and find it. Darn, there it is. Dig a hole. There's your well. Get the pump.
So
Got a
that's
pump.
good because I tell you, I love water. You know, like I said in the poem that I wrote, Step Up Now, to explain this quantum effect in healthcare. One paragraph says the human body fluids needs to move like the oceans of the world,
Yeah.
fluidity flowing, free of stagnation, blockages, and lack of quality oxygen. So we all need to breathe and let everything flow. So that's good. So that's good, Rachel Pope. I'm glad y'all over there taking care of each other in PG County. Wanda, how you been doing this week?
I'm doing fantastic, Karen. I really am. It was a great week. Actually, I was part of a forum, a managing stress forum that took place in San Francisco, and it was quite informative. And of course, we got into the Trayvon Martin issue, and a lot of good came out of it. I was actually able to talk about the five principles, according to John Christopher, and how to implement that in your everyday life, and how to get to a state of oneness and aligning with the source energy. And going back to what you're saying about oxygen, you know, when you don't have it, you certainly appreciate it. You do, because that is the breath of God.
Yeah.
And I saw an article just recently on Facebook which explained how the soul doesn't enter the body until it takes its first breath. The baby takes its first breath, and that's the breath of God. So when you talk about oxygen, the atomic letter is the letter O. Well, O is formed like a circle, and that is what happens electronically. Everything is going in a circle, and definitely O meaning Om, the first sound, and it's also a measurement of electricity. Wow.
Wanda, wow. Covenant, all. Bringing it into reality because, you know, you take the breath of life. The
Yes.
breath of life ignites and bring the soul self and the human self together as one. And when you take that breath of life, we have to look at it from the physical point of view. Then when you take that breath of life, you are activating the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system moves by the breath of life. You know, your circulatory system has to pump. That's your heart. But all these systems move and purify themselves through the lymphatic system. So when we breathe and we deep breathe, we help that system remove the excess fluid, the excess sodium from out of the area where the cells receive its information, its nutrients, its life from. So that's when we're talking about that water has to be of a certain level. It has to be purified in the body, and it has to be just enough not to drown the cells. And so when you look at obesity, you're looking at a cell that is drowned in its own excess fluid. And so people say, how can you make that so simplistic? Well, when you learn the science of lymphology, which is very easy for anyone to learn, the information is available on my website for you to teach yourself. You can also connect with me for a course where it's still self-taught course, but we can work together with that course to help you become a lymphatic specialist to assist people with understanding cellular ecology. At the International Academy of Lymphology, where I received my studies from Dr. Samuel C. West, the foundation to understanding cell life is understanding the prime variables of life. And I tell people often that when you look in your face, you not only see how magnificent you are and your true self, but you also see signals as to how to take care of this physical body. Because face, you filtration. We're talking about the lymphatic system. We're talking about a simulation. We're talking about the necessary nutrients that you bring into the body so you do not have these deficiencies. You want to make sure that it assimilates throughout the body. And so you also see, you want to make sure that everything circulates well through the body, the water, fluidity flowing, the information, fluidity flowing. Wanda talked about the energetic being, the electrical being. You want all these systems to work in harmony. And so you want to have the proper elimination. That is through all channels of the body, all your channels, including the wound in women. We're talking about eliminating through the skin, your breath, and the activation of your lymphatic system is so important. So the prime variables for looking at how to care for your cell and cell life is written all over your face. What a blessing. You can see it every day and you can ask yourself how you're applying it to your life. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to share with you what my take is on this so-called disease now, obesity, and why I believe it has come about. So Wanda, I know that panel that you talked on was a dynamic panel. What was the topic again that you spoke on in San Francisco?
Basically, it was about managing stress. But it was from a financial viewpoint of managing stress. How do you manage stress in an economy that is virtually going downward? You know, people's monetary system, well, the American monetary system, if you compare it to the rest of the world, there is some talk about our system may not be the best system and may be actually not the best system to use in the world. And now you have all kinds of the dollar being devaluated according to the other currencies in the world. People rushing to gold, for example, gold and silver. That's playing on people's minds, and the fact that a lot of people's paychecks just are not covering their bills. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that kind of stress?
Yes. Because it's definitely not what it looks like. It looks like it's on a downward spin, but it may just be on an upward spin because of the illusion of how we keep things separated by money. Because one of the things, I've always said is, how can you be a billionaire and everybody's suffering? I don't understand that. How can you have more money than your country? And that's out of balance. It's how we look at money. And I never knew how to really look at money until all my money was taken away from me because I had my stock in Enron. So I was a part of that first feeling of money that you have worked for and saved for, that you thought was going to be there for you. Your cushion was going to be there for you. And I was all into the currency of money. And then I got a letter in the mail that says, you have no more money.
You're right.
What are you going to do about it?
Money was a currency.
Yeah,
currency. Do about it.
She said currency.
Yeah.
I thought about water. Okay.
Low end. What are you going to do? Your well has just been dried up.
Start from the bottom. Move your way up.
Really think, Wanda, that had to have been an interesting talk. Are they going to have that video recording ready, available?
Yeah, they will have the video available soon.
I would like to hear that because that was a powerful talk. And so that's what we do, family and community. When we think in terms of we've lost something material or something external has done something to us, we're bringing in those lower vibrations, and we're keying our organs and our cellular structure to respond to that. Because one thing most people don't keep in mind is that your cells renew themselves continuously all the time by the way you think and what you feed your body and their environment that they're in. The environment is so crucial. The same way our environment is crucial to us, and this external illusion of a world is even more vital for our cell life and how that affects how cells work. So we're excited about the show today. We're excited that you do listen and comment through the week to myself or Wanda, Rachel, because this show is truly, and the word is definitely getting out, that when you tune into Health Talk Health Wise, it's not just going to be about the standard conversations of how we care for the body. It's really about taking ownership of your choices and your responsibility. And we give you some information to assist you with choosing and making a choice to do that. And as Wanda said, we're so grateful and thankful for the energy that we call forth through Jamila to assist us with understanding just humanity and how to be human and how to live our human self and the goals that we want, not forgetting that we are one: soul, mind, body, emotions, and spirit. So we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to share with you.
Do you feel lost? Do you feel out of sync? Could it be that you are experiencing electromagnetic sensitivity? Yes, electromagnetic sensitivity. Could man-made frequencies interfere with cellular activity and melatonin production? We are beings of frequency, light, and information, and you are your own experience. Do not conform any longer to the patterns of man-made mindset of human consciousness. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Schedule your Nest Provision Human Body Field Scan with Dr. K, 202-248-7749. Visit the website forcelllife.com, the number 4, CELLLIFE.com. Have the courage to expand your horizon and reprogram your cellular activities. Call Dr. K for your 15-minute wellness consultation, 202-248-7749.
That's correct. And you are tuned into Health Talk Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Health Care Talk with Dr. K and friends. And we do invite you to call in and share with us, 310-928-7733. Or you can email at innerlightradio@yahoo.com. Or you can Facebook Brother Jamal with your comments or questions. And yes, I work in the quantum field of health and healing, and I deal with the information fields. Every structure has a field, and that field sends off a vibration. It has a frequency and has a range. And so with the Nest scan, I can actually view your human body field, which is very unique to you and your consciousness. And we can assist you with understanding where your energy blockages are. We can help you understand where your physical concerns are, as well as your soul energetic concerns. That is really the driving force for your physical body. And I love what I do as a Nest practitioner, because this information is true to who you are. The same way we are gathering information to help us here on our human journey, to help us better maneuver here, our cells need this correct information to form, because it's one and the same. There is no separation in the soul self and the human self. Even though we feel like it is, there really isn't a separation. And so in terms of thinking of wholeness, oneness, and the quantum effect, that's what I do. And the information on my website will let you better understand what Nest Health is all about, what the human body is all about, and conscious self-health care, and making the right moves to make that happen. So I'm just going to briefly share a prelude to an article that, if we have time, that I'm going to share with you, called The Fat Church, that was written by a pastor when he decided to look at his life after being told that he was no longer overweight, that he was now obese. And so what does that mean, and how do they come about that? But this is what we're talking about when we talked about last week. We all often talk about epigenetics, and we often talk about iatrogenetics, and that's all about believing and something that you really don't have, that's not serving you, medical hexing. And it's also about any practitioner or physician that's working with you, that's not trying to bring about helping you create the positive change that you want with your health, not making you well. Then that's called iatrogenetics, because their whole purpose as a physician or a health healing person is to assist you with finding where you've created the blockages that cause you to have the distress that you say you having. So in my prelude to talking about that article about fat churches and my solution to this new frontier of what we've already seen now being called a disease, obesity. So think about this in terms of disease mongering, because that's what it's all about. The fear has been there, and now they're getting ready to capitalize on it. So this is what they do. So this information is coming to you from my self-published book, 2009, Step Up Out of the Dark Ages of Healthcare. I've used this book to share on the show with because it was designed for my workshops, Relearn, Rethink, Rewrite Your Personal Healthcare Plan. And I've been asked to actually make this book available. So I'm going to put the ebook back available for you on my website. It's going to be a minimum cost of $5 where you can download this book that I'll be sharing information from to assist you, along with the free download book that's available on my website, Heal Yourself and Others by Mastering Energy and Information, The New Frontier in Healthcare by Harry Massey. So this brief talk is disease mongering. Disease mongering is the practice of medicalizing every possible human behavior and physiological function that can be identified, from fear of public speaking, fear of not taking prescription drugs, fear of not having surgeries, to pregnancy. Almost every human mood, emotion, condition, or behavior is now considered a disease of one kind or another. And I say in bold letters, give me a break, please. The sole purpose of disease mongering, of course, is to sell more high-profit prescription drugs, convince you that you are a machine and they need to surgically remove your organs. Since drugs are only demanded by consumers who are convinced they're suffering from some sort of disease, the obvious strategy for expanding big pharma sales is the expansion of disease definitions in a way that encompasses practically everyone. The same thing with coming up with a disease, so now that they can tell you that they can remove some organs from your body to assist you, which is truly a false illusion. And this even go along with the psychiatry industry as well. They have expanded disease definitions to the murky realms of behavior or emotions, where so-called diseases have absolutely no pathological, no diagnosis test, and no rational foundation whatsoever. We think that we have a mental disease. So just to let you know why they just classified obesity as a disease, they've now classified grief as a disease. So now you can look forward to more psychotic drugs being promoted for emotion that you are allowed to experience, but not to be stuck in it. And because it appears that people are stuck in grief so long, that they now are going to call it a disease. And even went so far to say if you don't have certain credentials in the alternative field, then we can no longer support people with grief concerns. Wow, how amazing for them. So, we have the Cancer Society, the Diabetes Society, the Heart Society, this society, that society. But these three societies has been out to help you create better health care for yourself, which they haven't done, has been around for 233 years. These organizations have been in existence. And individuals are still suffering and dying too early from those so-called debilitating diseases, now more than ever before. So what does that tell you? In reality, most health conditions have simply underlying causes, like I spoke of earlier: toxicity, deficiency, your thought process, how you look at your being, you determine what's going on with your body. So true prevention is the key. And for me, prevention means understanding your divine being, understanding who you are, how this body works, what governs cellular activity, and how you are in control of that. That's true prevention, not to prevent you from catching a disease, because for me, there are no diseases. That's an illusion. It's a thought that you have in mind that you brought into someone's perspective, and now you're holding on to it, and you have to ask yourself, why are you doing that? What gift is that bringing you to better you or better someone else? So what do they do, and how do they do this, community and family? They invent a disease. So for a long time, we thought that obesity was a disease. But it wasn't. They just kept talking about weight management, the BMI scale, and if you at this level, if you at that level, you're not. And so now you obese. And so we cried for it. We asked for it. We said, I can't lose this weight. You can't make me lose my job. You can't take this from me because of my weight. I tried everything in the world. I can't do nothing about it. So they said, okay, we're going to make it a disease now. So now we can come up with how to cut you more, how to remove some organs, how to create some new drugs. And you're going to be saying, well, I thought that was part of weight loss. Well, see, the weight loss didn't do anything for you. That $1 trillion industry didn't do nothing for obesity. They saying now we got to come up with something because you cannot do it. You can't take care of your kids. You can't take care of yourself. And if you look back over the past 10 years, they've been leading up to the fact that they're going to take your kids from you because you can't feed them correctly. They're going to say they need surgery. You need surgery. Buy into that illusion. And you have to ask yourself, why are you going to buy into that illusion? Maybe it's to assist the world. Maybe it's to better yourself. But you have to decide. So they invent the disease. They convince you have it. They've done that over the years. And then they done sold you all the stuff from weight loss. And then they convince you that that's not going to help you. So now they got you. You under control. Because they're saying, wow, if we can do this, more and more people can say I can get disability by saying that I'm obese. And then they're going to snatch that from you. So it's all about the business of disease. And I love the way Sonia Barrett says it, is that the cure is in the body, not in the business. So this is an illusion that's going to have a lot of people trapped up, and especially our young children. And that's why it's a vital concern that we educate about self-care and how the physical body truly works by simply understanding basic cellular ecology, the science of lithology. It's very easy to do. That's my prelude into my discussion more on obesity and the fat church with the article from a pastor out of Tyler, Texas. So Wanda, take a breath. And what did all that say?
Karen, you are absolutely right. Everything starts from inside out. And so when you rediscover your God self and embrace every cell of your body, know that your body is your temple, you start connecting more strongly with your higher self. And when you do that, you have a new understanding, and you find, and you make better choices. You make better food choices, and you make it from your higher self. So it really goes back to connecting with who you really are.
Who are you really? That is the question that people have to ask themselves. Am I the material that I see, or am I this spiritual soul self that people talk about, and how the church says you only can get there after you leave the physical body? Or is it all right here in one? And how do we navigate our being here on earth? It's a perspective that people have to consider in order to better care for the human body. And I feel that one of the places that it has been lacking, which you would think that it will be spoken of greatly, is through our religious organizations, all of them. I think I've been a part of all of it. And everywhere I've looked at, it's never really addressing how to really care for the human body, just vaguely. Fast here, don't do this, don't do that. Again, I don't really, in my work, I don't really tell people what to do. I introduce them to the information as to how the body works. And they say, well, doc, what do you do? And I say, well, I'm a balanced eater. And they say, what is that? I eat whatever I want, but I know what fuels the body, what breaks the cells down, and what causes cellular malfunction. That would become my choice. But I don't complain, whine, or cry that I have a disease and go to anybody, because I fully understand that I am the creator and that I'm creating these conditions in my body. And what if I learn to allow myself to correct them fully on my own? That's how I give the information in my practice. Some people want to run from that because it's all about self-responsibility and acknowledging that you are the creator. And some people say, yay, 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 thank you very much, so glad you told me, and now I can take better care of myself. So it all depends on what you want to do and how you want to travel this journey here on planet Earth with this body. And that's what we're going to continue to share with you. Rachel, go ahead, Wanda. You want to say something?
I was going to say that the cell is like a human being. It's like another human being. And if you could just imagine yourself as that cell living in your body, what are you going to want? to be fed. Imagine just living in your human body, and all of a sudden something comes down the pike, something toxic. That cell is going to either shrivel up or run. And if I was a cell, I would want the good stuff, something that's going to make me feel powerful and mighty and strong and be able to carry on.
Shrivel up or run or drown. Because we're doing one or the other. Lack of water, shriveling up, too much water is drowning, and yeah, it's trying to run, but you can't run. Because like Bruce Lipton said, we are this big petri dish of cells.
That's the only way I can see it.
I like it. See yourself as, yeah, you are the cell. Rachel, what you want to say about all of that?
She messed me up. She messed me up. I went visual. She just blew my whole concept. All I saw was a mighty cell with a cape. I'm coming to here I come. My sword, my whole armor. Come on if you want to come on down. I am the Spirit, Holy Spirit. What's up?
That is so good. You know, let me say this. I was visiting with Dr. Kokai Patterson the other day, and he was showing me this book by this brother, this African-American brother that actually created a comic book to teach youth about foods and sugar. And he has he has all these heroes that are vegetarian on the other side, and on the mucus side, all these Avengers. I mean, that's a great book for kids. And you had me dying laughing when you was talking.
That's all I see. I had this other spectrum addressing this, but Wanda just come in and say, "Pusha." I said, "Ooh, okay." I was sitting back relaxing to that, but you know, all I can say right now is this: did we learn that the medical industry was the number one killer?
Oh,
and at the very end, I say, "I am that I am," said the Lord, and that's all I got to say.
I am that I am. I am is acknowledging your soul self. That is whatever you choose to create for yourself. Honor yourself with it. And if it doesn't set right with you, that means that you have to do something different. Use your voice, say something different, be something different. That's exactly what we're talking about. So, before we let Rachel come in and talk, all this is wonderful because, like I say, having my talks with JC, Light Energy John Christopher, he is the non-physical entity that comes through Jamila A. Shabazz. She's the host of Ascended Insight. And with talking to JC and understanding about choices, and I'm so excited about that talk we had because that talk is now part of my new book, Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery, and is what I use to better assist people with actually understanding if they're in the zone of love is all there is, the zone of love, or are they working outside of the zone? And so it plays a factor in all areas of our life because people are really emotional at this time, definitely with what's going on with the Trayvon Martin issue and how that's bringing so many different clarities to a lot of people. And like I had a call last night late from a youth, 18 years old. He's so angry. He went out on the website looking for an anger management specialist and came up with my name. And normally I don't even answer my phone at 10:30 at night, but something say pick up the phone, and it was his youth. And he was like so angry. He wanted somebody to share and talk him down of his angeriness. And I was glad I was able to assist him. But I am so thankful for the conversation that JC shared today with giving so much clarity and understanding to all of us humans and how we're living this journey and what Trayvon Martin's case is really has done for a lot of people. And one of her guest panels, and I know Wanda and Rachel, y'all was listening, one of the guest panels actually gave some new data on Zimmerman and how he looked at Zimmerman and how he embraced Zimmerman. And I had to do the same thing. And so listening to the panels on that show and how he talked about the many good things that Zimmerman has done through the life, I'm sure that made people look at him a little bit differently. So the show was very powerful. And one of the things I'm going to do as part of what I do in the Washington, D.C. area, I am really going to have a forum with the part 1 and part 2 of the talk from JC to a group of youth and tying it into our health and how we're caring about ourselves all together in a form to bring out the 5 principles and being a conscious mover, self-health care mover. But Wanda, in listening to the show today, what did you what else embraced you with that show? Because I already know how you feel about how we're moving forward with what we're doing. We talked about it last week, but what did the show give you today? Before I let Rachel come in and share her story.
Well, it kind of triggered something in me in that last night I'm part of a spiritual group, and we have a law of attraction practice that we do once a week, and we also put names in a circle where we want to send love and light. So I put the name George in there, referring to George Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of touched on the fact that we are all love. We are all souls. And when the brother started talking about who he was, his background, it kind of made me think, wow, we are all love. There's always something good about us, no matter what. I remember when I was robbed at gunpoint by a teenager, and he had a gun at my head, and all I could do was think about love. In that moment, everything froze. But in that moment, I said, you know what? Somewhere there is love inside of him, and somewhere somebody loves him, and he loves as well. And I think because I went to that, I think I got away.
I know what you mean.
But it was very enriching. It was very enlightening what JC said, and very confirming for me to go to the place of love. And it is about time we start evolving, going from moving away from victim to victorious, using our voices to honor ourselves, and also to make needed changes in society.
Yeah, because what I really liked, the fact that JC was really asking people to look, are you seeing yourself as a victim in this whole situation? And if you are, you may want to look what that is saying to you about you, your human self, and what you need to do to shift your personal energy. Because as he pointed out, Trayvon was not a victim in this situation, and he didn't leave. His energy is not that of a victim energy. And so we have to look at that while we are vibrating to that. You know, he said it's good that if you want to march, because that's oneness, that's bringing everybody together. But how are you doing that? Are you doing that from a love zone, or are you doing that outside of the love zone? And it'll bring about different energies, how you doing it. Because as the illusion here on earth, we need to see some laws that address some illusions that we feel is not good for everybody. And so we're using our voice. And the thing about it is, he said that the parents of Trayvon, they made this agreement that they was going to be a part of this to assist us for the long haul. And that's why we see so many variables in it. But it's an opportunity for each of us to look at how we have been caring for our human self. And if you don't know what the 5 principles are, if you don't know what the principles are of using your voice, and if you don't have this understanding, then you can go to YouTube, the Healing Center, JC, and listen to some of JC's conversations to better assist you. I mean, it was powerful, the people that was calling in and what they were sharing, how they were sharing. And so we're just saying that it's a lot of information out there to help you move in the direction that you want to move in, and to help you stay there if you're willing to open yourself up to them.
And Karen, another very significant thing that he brought up was the subject of death. And how you don't ever die.
Yes, that was the main thing.
Don't ever die.
That was the main thing, because he did that on the show that I did about near-death experience. And that I will never, ever forget, because he said that birth is a blessing. You are birthed into the world, and you birth out of the world, and it's still a blessing. You know, and so it's like, wow, you know, it's a blessing in that. And so, and it was a blessing because you see the goodness of it, because we know energy, never dies. And this illusion of death has really got us off kilter, and knowing that energy never dies, and it's more stronger in its purest form than it is in the physical form. And so, like I talked last week, I honor my brother's choice, my sister's choice, my husband's choice, and I know the energies are carrying me way more than they did when they was here on the physical. And if we could hold on to that, the energy never dies, then we would see things a lot different here.
Well, we're only living in a very small part of the energy anyway, because the genes only code for 2 to 5% of the organs. What is the rest of that we are? We are living in 5% of the electromagnetic field that is all around us.
We're going to be getting into that, but I don't want the community to call in and say, what happened to Let's Talk Wisdom with Rachel Pope? And this story on the water. So I'm going to make sure Rachel have enough time to confidently share her story, and we'll have enough time to come back to let Wanda do a meditation, and maybe we can still share for a few minutes before our time ends. So Rachel Pope with Let's Talk Wisdom and Water.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just cut to the chase of my little intro. But for those that's out there that don't know, my name is Rachel Pope, and normally I give stories based on my experience of the week by listening to my elders or the nature of what happens to me. And like I said earlier today, I was surrounded by water, all kinds of situation with water. And I went to look for a story about it after I read about Bruce Lee. And this what I really liked. And it's a story about water by Scott C. Johnson. And it begins this way.
Excuse me. Hold up for a minute, Rachel. What? Excuse me. I apologize. My screen, I really cannot see when we have callers is calling into the chat room. So I wanted to say that I want to let the callers know I'm not seeing you, and I do apologize for the ones that called in and now dropped themselves. So I'm asking Wanda and Rachel if you can see, or Jamal, if you can see the callers, let me know that we have a caller online, because I just got to notice that we had some callers calling in, and I can't see them. I have to adjust my screen so I can see more. So I'm going to let Rachel go on and share, and if we have a call online, when she completes, we'll let you share.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, water, Water, the greatest, the purest drink by far. 3 ice cubes in a red striped straw. Sip, 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 sip. Ah. Go to the kitchen when you thirst. Ask for a tall cup and ask for it first. What shall you do next? That shall it be 3 ice cubes, 1, 2, and 3. Ice cubes are slippery and they are cold. Drop them in your cup you hold. Ask your mom to rinse them off. Rinse them well. Unwashed ice cubes might have a smell. On the fun part, this is so neat. Pick out a tall straw for you to keep. Now place the tall straw in your cup. Almost done now. Don't give up. Turn on the faucet. Shh. Come down at the sink. Out of the faucet. Splash, splash, splash in your sink. Check that is cold and check that is fresh. Old warm water is not the best. Clean, cool water pours in the cup. Watch as the ice cube swells and rise up. Turn off the faucet. This part is the best. Drink the cold water. Refresh. Water. Water. The greatest, purest drink by far. 3 ice cubes in a red striped straw. Sip, 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 sip. Water fact. Drinking water is healthy. Drinking water gives you energy. Drinking water gives your brain, and it helps it to be healthy. Drink 6 or 8 glasses of water every day. And now there's 12 other ways to drink your water. From a water fountain, water cooler, from a canteen, from a water bottle, from a squirt bottle, with a color straw, with a silly straw, with a lemon slice, and with a lime slice, with a crushed ice, with moon-shaped ice, with no ice. So how do you drink your water? What about H2O? Well, I tell you one thing, Dr. Karen expressed it earlier about the physical standpoint. And I believe she gave the percentage of how much water is in our body. My numbers that I found out can range from 50 to 75% that's in the body based on how healthy the body is. But let me share this psychological standpoint about the water. There was a psychiatrist that walked around the room while teaching stress management to an audience. As she raised her glass of water, everyone expected that there would be asked, was it half empty or half full? The question, well, instead, with a smile on her face, she inquired, how heavy is this glass of water? Well, their reply ranged from 8 ounces to 12 ounces. She replied, the absolute weight doesn't matter. It depends on how long I hold it. If I hold it for a minute, it's not a problem. If I hold it for an hour, I have an ache in my arm. If I hold it for a day, my arm will feel numb and paralyzed. In each case, the weight of the glass doesn't change, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it becomes. She continues, and this is what is stated. The stresses and worries in life are like a glass of water. Think about them for a while and nothing happens. Think about them a bit longer and they begin to hurt. And if you think about them all day long, you will feel paralyzed, incapable of doing everything. Remember to put your glass down. So for the mental fat from Bruce Lee, like Dr. K was addressing about the post, he said, empty your mind. Be shapeless and formless like water. Put water in a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water in a bottle, it becomes the bottle. If you put water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can flow and it can crash. So be a water, my friend. We shall be like water in our circumstances, flow in it and out of it. And flawless water will be renewing our mind. Love you all.
Renew your mind and understand the flow of water. Do we have a caller on the line? Because I really can't see. So I can't address. Yeah, we do. We do. Let me hear that voice again.
Hello, everybody. This is Jamila Shabazz.
Jamila!
Hey, welcome back to Health Talk Health Wise.
Yay!
Hey, Jamila, how you doing today?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. I'm enjoying your show. Tuesdays, the only thing I do on Tuesdays is my radio show, and then I relax because I have sessions the rest of the week. So this is my day that I relax and do things that I really enjoy. And I really, truly enjoy listening to your show. I enjoy the information, and I was really touched by how you intuitively answered that phone call to assist that young brother, on his journey. So I just say keep up the excellent work that you're doing.
Wow. Thank you so much for calling. Jamila, that was a powerful show JC shared with us today. I know you probably didn't have an opportunity to listen to it.
I listened. I did listen.
Wow.
As soon as Jamal sends it to me, I listen to it right away because I'm so thirsty for the information. I'm like, I can't wait. And besides, my phone starts ringing off the hook after I get off the radio, and everybody, oh, did you know JC? He said that. I was like, wait, let me hear it first. Jeez, So I went on and I listened to it. It was an emotional show for myself because, I have children, and it just was emotional. It was emotional. I'm still working through this process. So I know a lot of people probably think that, I'm there because I channel JC, and I'm getting there because I channel JC. And I'm getting there in this situation, and what keeps me there is that visualization that I do where I see myself hugging Zimmerman. And at first when I saw it, I saw myself, but I didn't see myself hugging him. When I first tried to do it, I saw myself looking at him very angry. And, so it was a process that I kept doing every evening, not for him, but for me, because I'm not choosing to hold on to this anger that makes us feel like victims.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know. So, Jamila,
And
is
that was
there?
what.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that was what JC gave me as the process, because when
Okay.
he first gave it to me, I was like, really, JC? Really? We going there? That's where you would like me to go with this? So,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that I was given that guidance to do it, because it has lifted some of the feelings that I was having. But one thing I was guided to do was to not watch anything on television pertaining to it. And I
Mm-hmm.
could see why, because it would have taken me completely out of my zone.
Yeah.
And I was choosing to remain in the zone of love is all there is, we are all one. What is that we are all connected, gratitude, and being happy. And if I was to watch any of that stuff on the news, I would have been somewhere else.
That's true for me too. I had made that decision not to watch, and anytime I saw something from a post, I always attach something positive to it so people could vibrate to that. And I had that energy too, because on last show I shared about my brother losing his life valiantly, and through that I had to look through love to work my way through that. The love of my brother and his decision, the love of the young man that took his life, the love of the system that failed my mother. I had to see love in this so that I could survive. So when this happened and where we are now, I see this as an extension, because I was grateful that JC said to us that since 2009, that and even beyond before then, that there is going to be a lot of people that's making a choice to leave planet Earth to better the humans here on planet Earth and the vibration of planet Earth. And so that's something that I can hold on to. And I'm really encouraging all individuals to share with other people that really want to vibrate to a high frequency to better be here in their human self, is to listen to these 3 shows from JC on Trayvon Martin and how to make better choices. Thank you for calling in,
Thank
Jamila.
you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Again, I enjoy listening to you guys, and just keep doing what you're doing. I love you all.
We are one. We are working together. Woo
We love
woo!
you too.
We love you
Absolutely.
too.
On
Okay, all
this
right. Bye-bye.
train. Woo woo! We're riding this
Well,
train, and
well.
we're riding in love and kindness, and we want to continue to share this positive, uplifting information. So I think that Jamal says we got an extra 5 minutes, so Wanda will be able to do a healing meditation after we take this call that just came online. We have a call from area code 252. Would you like to share with us on Health Talk Health Wise and state your name?
That's for North Carolina.
Okay, they decided that they did not share at this time. Thank you for calling in, though. We got your vibrations. We appreciate it. And, I'm really thankful for what we do with Health Talk Health Wise. I've been doing this type of broadcasting for a little over 15 years, and I really evolved from a show where it was just me talking to a show where now I have co-hosts, and we have people calling in, and they call through the week, and we share. And, and we're getting the information out because people are calling in and people are making moves. The same way, I like to honor Lisa. She's been listening to the show for over 8 months. She's been going to the website. She finally called me to schedule a Nest scan to help her with her issues. And she's vibrating to the energy and the blockages in the information. And so we did the scan, and she has her information. Now she's taking that information. She's writing her own prescription. And she'll get back with me, and then we'll move forward with assisting her with what she's doing. So that's what this show is all about. If you're ready to vibrate a little higher from these low-level frequencies of feeling that you are diseased, that you are a victim to something, understand that we are the creator of everything, and everything we bring to us for a reason. And I'm learning that even more and becoming stronger in my choices and what I choose to vibrate to, so I can bring balance of peace and harmony to myself. That's the vibration that I send out, and that's the vibration that I support people with getting. And I'm sure Wanda and Rachel is doing the same thing, the same way that Jamal give us his platform with Inner Light Radio, the healing frequency. So really, truly, most of the shows, all the shows on this station is to assist you with reaching higher grounds and walking better in your human self. Because truly, when you can take any situation and take those 5 principles and apply it, you will come out better. and you will move better on your journey here. I think we do have enough time to do a meditation. We got 5 minutes, and so I'm going to let Wanda take us into a 3-minute meditation, and 3 to 5 4-minute meditation, and then we'll sign out. And thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to your calls this week. And remember to visit For Sale Life, Anchored in Spirit, and Blessings Flow Empire, and we all are on Facebook and LinkedIn. So Wanda, you can take us through a small meditation.
Okay.
Okay, relaxing or just a meditation, just because it's good, even if it's for a few minutes, because you know how we can do something for a few minutes and it's totally refreshing.
Okay. I'm going to start the timer again then, okay?
Okay.
Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Take another deep breath and become centered in this moment now. Just be. Take another breath. As you breathe in, you're breathing in prana or chi, life force energy that keeps you alive. Take a deep breath and exhale. Let go of all of the worries, all of the tension from the day, and feel your body begin to become more comfortable and relaxed. Feel your clothes touch your body. Feel the temperature in the room you're in. And begin to listen to the sounds near and far. And wherever there's any discomfort or tension in your body, go to that place and just let that tension go. And as you let the tension go, notice how your body feels. So comfortable, so relaxed. This is your true self. This is who you really are. And as you do this, just center in your heart and think about love. The love that you have for your family, your pets, your friends, your community, yourself, and for God. Focus only on the good and send love to all of those who are suffering right now, who are angry, who don't know who they are, but are remembering. Send out love to Trayvon Martin's family, his community and friends, as well as George Zimmerman, his friends, family, and community, and see us all coming together as one, knowing that we are not these bodies, we're not these emotions, we're not these thoughts. We are one energy, one light, and one love. On a count of 3, I want you to come back into the room feeling refreshed, relaxed, and ready for the world. 1, 2, 3.
We want to thank you for tuning in to Health Talk Health Wise. and I will continue with this topic of obesity, but I will leave you with this. If you feel that you have that issue, then it's a body that is starving for love, starving for nutrition, starving for you to honor yourself and love yourself. And I will share the article Fat in Church with you on next Tuesday and my solution to assisting you with obesity. Thank you for being on board this train. You don't need a ticket. Remember
Don't
that.
need to ticket.
Come
Yeah.
on. We got you.
Come on, boy.
Greetings and love and kindness, family. This is Dr. K. Thank you so very much for tuning in to Health Talk Health Wise. What's your illusion? What's your reality? Conscious Healthcare Talk with Dr. K and friends. Right here, every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Look forward to seeing and hearing from you on next Tuesday. Become our friend on Facebook, Dr. Karen Davis-Foulks, and like our page, Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery. Tune into our YouTube channel, K Davis F, and visit our website, www.celllife.com. We also invite you to tune into Frank Talk Real Talk with host Reverend Dorita Dixon every Monday at 7:30 p.m. And the Sage and Baby Boomer Show with host Ayo Handy Kendi. That's every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right back to Health Talk Health Wise every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m.